Absolutely. As now we see the drivers make their way into the pit boxes. Dobbs, Robertson, Kinder, Barlow going to go all through four of them and take his place on the first pit stall. Wide bracket falling behind. As now we wait to see these four tires and fuel and who's going to be able to win off first. Adam Lancaster drops the jack first. Alan Dobbs is going to get off away early as Lancaster is going to jump all the way up to third with that, almost beat Robertson, and they make contact, and that is not what you want to see. That might be 8, but that is a very devastating blow to number 2 car. You gotta hope he didn't get too much damage out of that, but that was a hard hit to the inside wall.
Down the straightaway, we'll get a replay here and show you that one again. That car was really consistent and really strong. I was thinking Robertson was going to be a big factor in the finish of this race. You see Adam Lancaster and Brandon Robertson coming out side by side from the exit of the pit lane, and there was for the completion of 4 fresh tires on that machine. Dobbs got him out of the pit lane, no question about that, but Lancaster got a really great pit stop, came out beside him, and just trying to have enough room between both himself and the wall and himself and Lancaster. Obviously, he misjudged how much room he had to his right side and just clipped that wall. Unfortunately, that's going to be a big blow for Brandon Robertson, but he should be able to get that car fixed up and maybe before we even get back to green flag racing, get it back on the grid.
So getting on pit lane is going to matter a lot. Getting off of pit lane is going to matter a bunch as well. And we also see that margin from second and third starting to close up on the race leader, Jesse Webb. We were talking about the headlights. He was making good use of them there, trying to warn, oh, trouble in front of him. Look out, that's right in front of the leader. He somehow gets by after the 2 lap cars tangle in turn 1.
It looked like Gergois might have gotten on the brakes a little bit too hard, and he will collect Mick Blue as a result. Not too much critical damage for these drivers, but handling is sure to be an issue.
So Gergois, the car that got into the back of Mick Blue, who perhaps was maybe trying to yield to the leader, who was warning that he was en route and on the way. And Mick Blue also ended up spinning around. They now fall a lap behind the leader, who, what a job, though, by Jesse Webb to slam on the brakes as they all came into turn number 1 with a full head of steam. And due to where Gergois' car spun on the pavement as we back into the barrier here on board with Mick Blue, looks as though that Webb is going to live to fight another day. Here it is out the back of Gergois' car, and here comes Webb. Deep down to turn number 1, just right into the back of Mick Blue, and there goes Webb, able to squeeze on by, and just like that, that is how quickly things can come undone for the front runners in lap traffic.
7 rather, and it ends up working for Bruno, but I'm not so sure that I would have done the same thing there into turn 1 like that, or turn 2 rather. Oh, Safeker's around!
Okay.
Oh, Jesdal had that big issue. Whoa!
Yeah, just punted him right around. Luckily, he was able to get that thing fired up really quick, Jesdal.
Yeah, that was Jesdal. He goes around out of 7. That's what I was saying. He is the reason this all happened. So Jesdal has this spin, and wow, he just got on the power, I think, too much in that compression and spun the car around, and suddenly here comes Nate Siefker, and Siefker's just got this big head of steam. It goes off track to clear him and then gets punted off for doing so. I'm not sure that was intentional from Jesdal. I think it just ended up happening that way. Of course, Siefker going off track like that probably is already on the binders as soon as he gets back to the black there. And Jesdal just wasn't ready. Let's put that behind us. We've got to restart to focus on 2 laps to go. It's green-white checkered. Out of 100 laps, we now have 2 more to go to make it 104. Anthony Masadi, the race leader. Jeremy Berger, second place. The 2-car Jack Ryan in there as well. How does this shake down?
You see Stephen Parrott. We haven't seen much of him. So here is. Oh, they're wrecking!
That's everybody.
Oh,
that's everybody.
Upside down. Yeah, that's the whole field right there coming
Holden
back
McGill
again.
just did a barrel roll out of turn 4. Everybody's in this, and we're. Legend car racing is becoming more and more commonplace here at Pit Stop TV, and we're adding to it this evening with the addition of the HFL Legend Series, beginning now. Welcome to Pit Stop TV. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with Justin Erb alongside, and we open this brand new season and series of Legend car racing at one of iRacing's staple oval tracks, but one that's not usually on real Legend cars schedules, making it an interesting juxtaposition for us this evening. Justin, welcome in, and this is definitely one of my favorite short tracks that I've ever been to in real life, favorite short tracks to race on or broadcast from in iRacing. This is one of the best short tracks in American short track racing. South Boston Speedway in South Boston, Virginia. It's close to North Carolina. It's close to the Virginia racing scene with Martinsville and Richmond and everything else. It is one of the more historic tracks that you could go race at or watch a race at. And you know what? What's interesting, what's a whole lot of fun to me personally, what's cool anyway, I've been a fan here at Sobo. I've been a broadcast director here at Sobo. I've been a camera operator multiple times here at Sobo. I've done several different things, and yet I keep falling more and more in love with this racetrack. There's no role I think I could play, aside from maybe scrubbing toilets, that would take me out of love with this racetrack. South Boston really is one of the best tracks in the world.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun track to run on. It's short track. It's about 0.6 of a mile, but you gotta drive at 0.10 to make it somewhere. So it is definitely a difficult little track to master, but it's a fun one to run. I'm very excited to see what these guys can pull out tonight.
And we are under the lights here in South Boston, Virginia this evening. Thanks for joining us here at Pit Stop TV. Let's take a look at our track map for this evening. You can see 2 pit lanes. That makes this place just that little bit more interesting. The yellow pit lane is the front stretch pit lane. The green pit lane is the back straightaway pit lane. Really, on iRacing, you're just using that front stretch, but we may see some turn 3 and 4 pit stalls being used this evening. We do have 20 cars already in the session. The Legend car fastest lap time that we can find from previous iRacing qualifying seasons, a 16:068 set by Ryan Kuhn of Ryan Kuhn Motorsports and that setup shop. We've got, I'm sure, some setup shops trying to get their drivers to the front of the field, but this is a fixed setup race this evening, and they are actually moving pretty quick. The lap record is 16:068. These guys are down in the 16.2s in practice so far. Only about a minute left of this practice session, Justin, and you can see the standings there on the left side of the screen. A few drivers have not, it looks like, technically made it into the, well, there we go, okay, it updated on us. But Boniface, fastest of the bunch in car 95, Quentin Nuttall, second quick, Jed Cotterman, third quick, and it just kind of goes on down the list. Eric Sellers, one of the top drivers that is, well, I guess, practicing currently, that is on track in his number 97, currently on screen.
Yeah, and looking down that ticker, all these times are very, very close. This is going to be a slugfest through and through tonight. It's going to be fun seeing all those times together. It's going to be very tight racing.
Here's a look at Mark Smith in car 17 as he's on track currently. Let's ride on board for a lap around South Boston Speedway in a Legends car. And these guys are going to run very close down to that bottom side of the track, that yellow line. But you see Mark Smith tracking up the racetrack just a little bit, as it looks like he's trying to push every little bit of speed out of the car. I had theorized that these guys might run down on the apron a little bit. We may still see that a bit, to de-wedge the car, try and hook the car around the corner a bit. But it does look like they're trying to run a little higher up than even I expected this evening. And there you go. Mark got a little bit of the apron, but looks like he's coming into pit anyways. So that'll do it for practice. How about qualifying? And it's worth mentioning we have a heat race format on our hands this evening. We do have a kind of basic heat race format, 3 heats in total to be run, at least up to 3 to be run. And I'm trying to think of how to put this, I guess, into words. 3 to be run, 10 would go on from each heat race. But with the car count we have, we're likely only going to see 2 heats. We'll still send all cars, up to 30 cars, into the feature race, which will be 50 laps. So we could have a pretty massive field. 30 cars for Legends race would be quite a lot, but we aren't quite going to hit that number tonight. We're still going to push those first couple of heat races, though.
Yeah, and all those cars shoved on a less than half-mile track here. It's going to be packed. It's going to be full of action. And these guys are going to be pushing everything they can to get out of these cars tonight.
On board with Brandon Herzing out of Georgia, I do believe, it's Alabama. I think it's Alabama. I got to get that one right. But Brandon Herzing out of Alabama, second quick so far in practice. Let's take a look at the practice times rolling in. Boniface fastest in car 95, but he's already done. How about Amy Mason, then third quick so far in the 51, and Amy is done. John Barry is fourth. Donald Fish now drops to sixth as Jesse Fox goes up to P4, now P5. More times rolling in. Quentin Null goes second. How about Jed Cotterman in the third spot? Eric Sellers goes fourth. A lot of times rolling in very, very quickly.
Yeah, Matt Smith snatches the fifth, or
I think that was Mark Smith.
Mark Smith, the 17 snatches a 5th place out from Herzing there. And these guys, yeah, it's staying true to what they were doing in practice. The times are very, very close tonight.
On board with Timmy Martin as he begins his first time to lap. Dave Holmberg goes 12th. No change at the top, though. It's still Matthew Boniface fastest so far in this 5-minute, 2-lap qualifying session. Eric Sellers 4th. Jed Cotterman 3rd. Quentin Nuttall 2nd. Here is Martin across the line in car 28. First lap of 15.083. I think that's going to update as 16.565. Yeah, there we go. 9th place is more like it for Timmy Martin. How about car 315? Nicholas Smith on track currently in the black and purple machine. I do like that color purple for sure. And Nicholas of the line, going to try and improve on a 14th best lap time. He does improve to a 16.722, but does not go anywhere on the scoring pylon.
Yeah, it's looking like these guys are just pushing a little hard, just trying to inch out some time. But even though it's a pretty simplistic layout, like I alluded to before, it's a hard track to master here.
Ron Blackwell comes into the pit lane. Nicholas Smith will wrap up his qualifying run. You saw Eric Sellers there briefly in car 97. He is now on to his 3rd lap of running, so this no longer counts for him, but may as well go get some extra laps on the track, get some extra experience with these tires as they take more heat and wear out a bit more, and as I say that, he decides he is done. Douglas Fisher, though, onto the racetrack. It looks like he'll be the final car to have an attempt at qualifying. And car number 8 may just wrap up our qualifying session for us. By the way, this is the first on the season. And it looks like Fisher going to wrap things up quickly. He pulls down to the inside and slows down. So we may be talking about that being the end of qualifying here, Justin. Let's take a look at the weather conditions as well for this race. A nice day, a nice evening. 70 degrees in the air, 71 on track. It is just a good day for racing.
Yeah, I'd say so. With that cooler track temp, grip is definitely going to be up on the track. The longer these cars run, with it rubbering up, these guys are going to be flying around, hopefully staying out of trouble tonight, because it's going to be close and tight racing.
And it does look like Donald Fisher may get it one more shot here, so we'll bring him back on screen. But it looks like, well, no, he comes right back down the pit lane. So maybe he's not going to take a full lap time, and it may just be done for him. While we have a moment here at Pit Stop TV at the back end of the qualifying, a big shout out to our partners with the channel, Whiplash Media SimCams, SimRapMarket.com, and Short Track Weekly, allowing us to bring these broadcasts to you. 20 cars in attendance, 16 of them turned qualifying laps, but all 20 will have a shot to run through the heats and the feature race. And we are going to split into heats. Heat 1 is going to be on grid first, and it looks like Timmy Martin will be the fastest, or I guess the top starter, as we have inverted the top 5 starting positions for each heat. And I don't believe, based on that we have inverts for the start of the feature race, but I very well may be corrected on that regardless. Let's take a look at your starting grid this evening. On pole, Timmy Martin for heat number 1. Kirk Schweizer will start from second spot. Starting third, it's Mark Smith. Jed Cotterman rolls off fourth for heat 1. It's Matthew Boniface starting from 5th. Mike Winter from 6th. Donald Fish will start from the inside of row 4 and 7th spot. Luke Desjardins will start from 8th. Mike Matherly from 9th, and Douglas Fisher will start from 10th. Just like that, 10-car heat race rolling off of the grid and down the back straightaway here, Justin. It's a fun track. It's a short track, but these cars, they're tiny, they're fun. It's just going to be a good race.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. We're going to see what goes on here. It looks like, I think the pace car might pull off here. No, we got one more pace lap here as they do a salute to the fans here. You got to love to see it. And with these starts, they always have to be vigilant on getting on throttle, but you also have to be very careful with those cold tires, even in a 10-lap heat race here. And positioning is everything, so anything you can do to keep the car clean but move forward, you got to do it.
Coming to the green here for heat race number 1 this evening. On pole, Timmy Martin. There goes the iRacing.com pace car to the safety of pit lane. Green flag is going to fly. We're off and away for the first time in the HFL Legends Series this season. Oh, one car already hard in the barrier. We've got 2 cars flipping lap 1 of the heat race, and there goes another end of the wall. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Still crashing. No caution. Oh, boy.
Oh. I thought there would be cautions after that.
I did not quite expect this for the start of things this evening. Let's go back and get a look at what happens here at the start of this heat race. No cautions in these heats, as we're quickly learning. Right off the bat, Boniface going to go up a lot of spots, but here's Timmy Martin through the first couple of corners, no issues. Somebody backs up. I think that was a 17 car initially. 1 car spins to the inside. Wow.
Synchronized flips there.
Yeah, it really got out of hand quickly. And then 1 more car spun on the front stretch, and another car hit them. That was the 10 of Luke Desjardins. Just never really checked up. Wow. Very interesting, but we're already in lap 4 of the heat race, so we'll continue on as these guys stay green. No cautions in the heats. That really brings up the attrition factor if you want to get a better starting spot. Matthew Boniface, your current race leader, as we go across flags.
Yeah, it's looking like Boniface has pulled out about a half a second lead over Schwelzer there. So, it looks like it seems to be growing. I don't know how, I think these guys are just going to try to settle in, just get their positions ready for the feature.
Watching as Boniface works up to a lapped car, it looks like. And, well, yeah, there would definitely be a lapped car. It's the number 7 of Jed Cotterman, about to go 1 lap down. Boniface has a growing lead now, somewhere to the tune of just under 1 second. Graphics overlays, I will say, they're slowing down on us just a little bit, so bear with us as we work to 2 laps to go here in heat number 1. Schweitzer still in second. It's Martin in third. No changes there, and the field is so far apart at this point. Really, from those first couple of big incidents that we saw, that not much is changing. As here we go, it's going to be an opportunity for Boniface to go on by the lap car, and there we go. Things come back our way just a bit, so we'll believe Well, we're working it out, but we'll have 1 lap to go this time by, presented by Whiplash Media Sim Cams, and there it is. 1 lap to go in heat number 1. There's a side-by-side further back, but not for position, as Boniface will take the heat 1 win and should start our feature race from pole.
Yeah, the action seemed to kick off from right off of turn 2 in this one. So let's see what the second heat can bring us coming up here.
Waiting on all cars to finish the race, Mike went to the final of those drivers to do so, and he will cross the line and end heat number 1. For heat 2, on the other hand, it will be Jesse Fox leading us to the green flag. Let's meet your starting grid. Car 20, as I just mentioned, Jesse Fox on pole in that bright yellow Legend car. On the outside will be Amy Mason, who it looks like qualified, I want to say 8th quick, to put Amy in the second starting position for this heat race. Starting from 3rd, it's Brandon Herzing in car 96, add 1, and you get Eric Sellers in 4th spot, add 1 more, you get Quentin Nuttall in 5th position for our second heat. John Barry will start from 6th. Nicholas Smith rolls off in 7th, Dave Holmberg from 8th, Robert Wilson from 9th position, and Ron Blackwell, the final starter in heat number 2. As we'll have to see how this one goes. Hopefully a lot more smoothly than heat 1, hopefully without lap 1 calamity down the back straightaway.
Yeah, well, they had the advantage of seeing what the track can do with the first heat. Those cars wrecking off of turn 2, they now know to watch out for that. That's what I would be doing if I was on pit lane watching those guys go out. So if they have that knowledge, let's see if they can keep it clean. Get into turn 3 all nice and tidy. We're going to have a good race on our hands here.
There we go. Definitely an interesting way to get the night going, but glad you're joining us here at Pit Stop TV as we're about to send them green one more time. Down the front straightaway, green flag is going to fly. Heat 2 underway here at South Boston. A much cleaner start to Heat 2, but we do have a couple of cars around in the back. We'll keep going with the racing action as they work at a turn number 1. Or at least we'll try to. Things are fighting us a little bit, but there we go. Side by side, you see the 20 of Fox has fallen back a little bit. Sellers goes up underneath, and just like that, we're on to lap number 3.
Yeah, the 2 cars of 315 and the 30, those were the 2 spinners going into turn 3. It looks like they might have a chance to duke it out between themselves if they didn't get too much damage.
Going to have a fight for this race lead. It's Herzing and Nuttall out front. Herzing at the racetrack on a turn number 2. Here comes Nuttall on the inside. He's going to take a look-see down low and go right on by for position 1 already. And just like that, Quentin Nuttall right ahead of Brandon Herzing, but nearly contact there into 1 and 2. Very, very close for these first 3 spots. Here comes Sellers.
And with that, he's right on the attack of the 97 to Sellers. It's a dogfight for the top 3 positions right here.
Nuttall out front. It's Herzing in the 2nd spot, Sellers in 3rd, Fox 4th, and Barry, Holmberg, Mason, Blackwell, Smith, and Wilson. Whoa, there goes Nuttall. He's going to spin.
Oh, and he collects Sellers too.
And they meet once more on the front straightaway. And the 2 that were running 1st and 3rd now are running towards the back as Herzing is going to walk away and say, gotcha to both, and drive away, it looks like, with this Heat 2 victory, rather. Wow. 3 of the better drivers, I think, in this field were nose to tail. 2 of them just had a big, massive mistake.
Hey, it happens on a small track like this. You're focused on the battle, and you just have a quick little lapse of the mind. It happens to the best of everyone here.
You see the battling further behind. This is for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Fox, Barry, Holmberg, and Mason. As Fox runs a little bit lower down the racetrack, getting that apron just a tad bit, running on that flat. But here comes Barry now with a run to the outside as we will take the white flag, I think. Yes, white flag is out, presented by Whiplash Simcams in Heat 2. maybe a side-by-side attempt. It's not going to happen, and out front, it's all going to be Herzing with the Heat 2 victory. Should be starting the outside of the front row then for our feature race of 50 laps. With the heat racing done, we've got a 5-minute warm-up coming up, and we will be right back with your feature race action. Welcome back to the virtual South Boston Speedway as we rejoin you this evening for the HFL Legends Series season opener. So glad you can be joining us this evening from South Boston. This has been a pretty fantastic way to get things started. Cars are rolling, I should mention, on the grid. We're going to bring you in. We're working on restarting. In fact, it just restarted. Perfect timing. Isn't it nice when technology actually cooperates? We have the graphics back up and running. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it does not. Quickly, I'm going to run you through your starting grid as we're playing a little bit of catch-up. But we have caught up, so now it's maybe a little bit of time for mustard. But here we go. The top 20, actually the 20 starters this evening. Matthew Boniface on pole. Brandon Herzing will start from second. Starting third, it's Kirk Schweizer. Then it's Jesse Fox. Fifth, it'll be Timmy Martin. Sixth is John Barry. Starting in seventh, it's Mark Smith. Then Dave Holmberg from eighth. Round out your top 10, it'll be Mike Matherly and Amy Mason. Starting 11th, it's Douglas Fisher. Ron Blackwell from 12th. Then Jed Cotterman and Quentin Nuttall. Donald Fish will start from 15th. Nicholas Smith from 16th. Starting 17th, it's Luke Desjardins. Eric Sellers from 18th, and around out your whole field, it's Mike Winter and Robert Wilson. Your quick fire of starters is over. It's time for the green flag from South Boston. We're off and away. And we've got to crash them up. One car on their lid. It's the 8.
Oh, and he comes back down. And caution waves.
Douglas Fisher, the car that did barrel rolls on lap 1 of the season opener. Mark that in your HFL history book.
Man. Yeah, South Boston is a pretty slick track off the start. So these guys are definitely a handful.
I know the Chili Bowl starts this week, but I didn't think we'd need a flip count this evening. Clearly, we may just need one, as here's what happens to Douglas Fisher in the middle of the racetrack. He goes up and over with contact from the 20 that spun around. That was Jesse Fox, who did pretty solid. And there we go. Yeah, Fisher just came down the racetrack there. Wow.
Yeah. Maybe they're trying to mirror Heat 1 there.
So the 20 was Jesse Fox. Let's watch this. The bright yellow Pennzoil machine on the outside of the 28 of Martin just got loose in the middle of turn 2, and wow.
Hits the backstretch pit wall entrance.
That was the 16 and one other car that got involved on the inside of turn 3 after the fact. Let's ride on board quickly with Douglas Fisher for that crash.
I don't think he had any time to react on that one.
Absolutely not. This is the onboard. He was just trying to take it slow, take it easy. You can tell that from the engine note, and just absolutely nowhere to go. Comes down the racetrack there. Oh, boy. But it's good to get these jitters out early in the season. I think early in the season maybe didn't mean lap 1 of the race, lap 1 of the season, but we'll get through it regardless, as these guys will get our first restart in of the evening. Caution laps are counting. And we are back green at Sobo. 5 laps complete, 45 to go. Oh, the 27 around in the middle of the field, and we've got 2 more cars sideways. Caution once again as Boniface and Herzing continue to lead.
Barely caught the tail end of that, but it looked like it was good wreck avoidance by the rest of the field there.
Yeah, for the most part, that was really good, missing the 27 that was broadside. And sometimes it's not all that easy, as we saw with Douglas Fisher. Here's the 27 going around in the middle of turn 3. It's Ron Blackwell, catches one more car. And wow, yeah, those were some big-time misses.
Oh, for sure. Wow. Just a little tag to send them back up the track, but heads up driving by the back end of the field there to keep their cars clean.
Quentin Nuttall goes around the inside, and then Blackwell just gets loose all on his own. Catches the number 97, it looks like, of Eric Sellers.
Yeah. It's just a tale of loose. These cars haven't had a chance to get those tires up to temperature yet, so it's still going to be really slick down there, or should I say up the track.
You know, that's a good point. There's been no time for these guys to build temperatures. 70 degrees in the air, 71 on track. That's not all that warm. I know it's not cold. It's not down in the 60s, but it is chilly. So, yeah, those tires are going to slide. Great point.
Oh, yeah. Operating temperatures of tires, they need to be kind of a little bit higher than what you'd think. But on a cooler track like this, it takes a few laps to get them all warmed up and get grip in them. So then the rubber can be then transferred to the track and so on and so forth.
Got a static fan cam here on the front and straightaway while you guys take in your first ever experience here with Pit Stop TV. I'm sure in many cases, I'm going to invite you to join us for some upcoming broadcasts here on the channel. This is just a quick look at them. This Thursday, we got Suzuka Circuit for the North American Racing League GT3 Series. It's their 4th season of action. On Monday, it'll be Painbuilt Legends time from Southern National, and then next week we go to Spa with NARL GT3. Of course, you can follow along with Pit Stop TV on social media as listed below, but it's time to get back racing as we exit turn 4 and turn them loose one more time. Green flag is out as we're now on to lap 12 of 50. Three wide, and we've tagged a couple more cars, and that's the 14 and 28 on the inside, and massive contact from the 315 of Nicholas Smith. And, oh, there goes the 14 on over, John Barry.
Oh, we got the turtles out on the track again.
And another bit of issue. This is all going to start inside of the top 10 once more, with the 14 of John Barry and the 28 of Timmy Martin. Martin at the racetrack at a 2. Comes down and actually gets tagged by the 21 of Mike Matherly. They go down to the inside wall. Netcode grabs one more, and my goodness, the smash 'em up those guys had just a bit more.
Yeah, the 8 went for another ride there. Almost landed on his lid again.
Let's ride on board with Matherly for this restart. I think you could say the catalyst of this incident. On board with car 21. 3 wide, he just kind of sticks his nose to the inside as Martin went up the track and contact, and there they go crashing on the inside. And I think that was that the 63 of Holmberg? It was. That was involved by Netcode as well.
Oh. Yeah, it's always going to be a tough thing to try to get these things going after the restarts, as we keep alluding to. It looks like it's a handful for all drivers involved tonight. Oh! 63 gets completely blindsided there.
Yeah, that was the netcode spin around for Holmberg. Let's ride on board now for Jesse Fox's perspective quickly. This is from the very back of the pack. And one of those things, again, where things just happen in front of you. These guys kind of pack up, bundle up, jumble up, whatever you want to call it, and contact there. Oh, that car disappeared, actually. That was Smith in the 315 that came back in at just the right time to collect the 20 of Jesse Fox. But we should be getting the green flag here in just one more lap of pacing, as the entire field works through turns 3 and 4, waiting to come back around and get the one-to-go signal there from Barney the flagman. And you see Herzing going to double up on the outside of Boniface. Now, let's talk about these leaders out front. Matthew Boniface and Brandon Herzing, both drivers through the Painbuilt Legends driver development program. At least, I know Boniface is, I believe, Herzing in that bunch as well with EPI. From then on, a lot of these guys are drivers we don't know as much about here at Pit Stop TV, so we're learning a lot about them in this HFL Legends series, and we shall do so a bit more as we get ready to send them green one more time. Lap 18 underway. Onto the back straightaway, nice and tidy up front. You see some side-by-side here. There goes the 7 of Cotterman underneath the 17 of Smith. 3 wide in the back, and that is Amy Mason on the top side going backwards in a hurry. But we do get that first lap of green in.
Yeah, with that first lap down, these guys can finally start getting some temperature in those tires of theirs. So with that, let's see if the field will stick together.
Oh, there goes Matterly in one more.
All right.
Schweitzer. Right in front of our speed shot. Perfect camera placement there.
It might have been a case of getting loose off the corner again. I know that transition can always bite you from time to time if you're not being careful.
That is exactly what it was here. Here's the onboard with Matherly once more. And if we watch here from the rear, you'll watch Schweitzer do the exact same thing. They both just get loose, and Schweitzer may have been in reaction potentially to Matherly's issue, but both of those drivers, the same issue. Out of turn 2, or turn 4 rather, they just go right on around after getting a bit free.
Yeah, I mean, we've already had synchronized flips tonight, but now we have synchronized spins.
And here's the view for car 65, Kirk Schweitzer. Yeah, they both got loose on their own, and just wow. They hit the wall the exact same way.
Yeah. It hits like a ton of bricks, too.
Thankfully, they should be able to continue on. It looks like we are working with at least one quick repair here, or maybe these virtual teams are just that good on getting virtual fenders replaced back onto the cars. I'm not entirely sure, but I've seen several cars go back out after some pretty cataclysmic damage. The whole field works on by.
Yeah, the 8 and the 20 on the first caution going end over end, they were out on track same lap, so at minimum they have one fast repair going on tonight.
We worked 23 of 50. We'll come around and get lap 24. Let's talk about the schedule for the HFL Legends Series. Of course, we're joining you this evening on January the 10th, 2023. Next week, we're off to Charlotte. Well, I say we. The series is off to Charlotte. We are currently in a partial TV schedule. So, what that means is if you're interested in seeing more broadcasts of the HFL Legends Series here on Pit Stop TV, more of these races covered, what you should do is reach out to your league admins. Brandon Herzing, Michael Peters, the rest of them, reach out to them and let them know that you want to see more races covered. And they can kind of give you directions basically on what to do from there, but the biggest thing is it comes down to footing the bill. That is part of, well, racing in general. It's just like racing a real car, putting it into the real series, that is part of it. But let's talk about the schedule on hand. You see South Boston Race 1 tonight, Charlotte next week, then Five Flags, Hickory, and Lanier, before we go to Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Lakeland at USA, then Lime Rock, a road course in there for 15 laps of action, then Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park, and a to-be-determined race. We'll talk more about that by the end of the night. We're about to get the green flag one more time. You see the green flag high in the air, and we are back green. Cross flags that time with the green. As Boniface leads us into turn 3, it is Herzing and Cotterman second and third, and we go green that first full lap. One car gets the fence, and that was the 17 of Mark Smith, who loses a spot to the 007 of Mike Winter.
Yeah, keeps it clean, keeps it from heading back down the track to hit that inside wall, so good job on him there.
Robert Wilson takes a spin, no caution yet. The leaders now into 1 and 2 are coming up on him. No caution, there it is.
Ooh. Oh, nearly.
Oh, they're going to crash. Oh. The 51 of Amy Mason spun, I think, directly into that slow car. And Mason will pull away. So first, we've got to go back and see car 30, Robert Wilson, take a spin out of turn 2. Here's the onboard of that. Nice and calm into turns 1 and 2. Just kind of goes around a lazy spin. Oh, an overcorrection. And Wilson goes around.
Oh, it just couldn't get enough steering lock in there.
I think he's trying. He was trying to go forward, then eventually reverses. And here comes Amy Mason. Gets turned, it looks like, right into the 30 car. Wow.
Oh, wow.
There was definitely contact. Let's go back and watch that.
Yeah.
And it looks like that contact coming from behind, of course. So we'll take a look here from the bumper cam. This is a Really fun camera to watch, actually. Some Legend Car racing from Watch This. I think this might be Sellers that gets Amy. And no, that was the 16, rather, of Donald Fish.
I believe the thinking there was Amy was checking up for the 30 on the bottom.
And it may have been that it just happened too quickly for Donald to react. Let's watch this from the other bumper cam. I think Amy just checks up more quickly than Donald was expecting.
Yeah, and that's just what happens. You don't know what the car that's been stopped on the track. You don't know what they're gonna do.
Looks like we had a quickie yellow that time. We've just gone back green, so quickie yellow gives us green flag quick, and we're back racing. Lap 32 complete. There's lap 33 now as we roll up on a lap car. That's Mike Winter. Oh, 5th place. Eric Sellers takes a header.
And yellow is out again.
Goes right around and loses that left front fender just as quickly as we got back rolling. We're halted. Let's go on board here for Eric Sellers. His teammate was Donald Fisher that just got turned around, or was just involved in that accident out of turn 2 with Amy Mason. Now Eric Sellers has this issue out of turn 2. Really odd.
It looked like he nicked the wall and took the wheel a little too much, trying to get off of it, and it just sent him.
Let's get another look at this here for Eric Sellers. Out of the Mid-South. Up out of turn 2. Goes up. Just got loose.
Oh.
The car just looks snappy out of the corner. I think that's what these drivers are fighting, to be a really quick steering reaction, and it's just snappy when it comes back out of the banking, and the rear end is kind of left to do its own thing. This is really interesting. Just trying to watch these guys, I guess watching these guys try to hang on.
Yeah, and we've only had a stretch of about 2 laps going green, so I still don't even know what the state of the tires are going to be here as the pace car pulls down.
We'll go back green this time. Single file restarts now, and they all kind of fan out from 3rd, 4th on back. The 17 of Smith checks up a little bit side by side, but we are green as contact there. The 10 goes by. That's Luke Desjardins. Now here comes Ron Blackwell on the outside. Donald Fish enters the fight. 1 lap complete. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow.
Big front stretch. Holy cow. 27 is still flipping.
Blackwell is going to have one of our best replays of the year, and I know it's only January 10th. I get it, but I don't think that'll be topped.
See, that's where you need the flip counter again.
Yeah, just for one car.
All right, let's take a look and see what happened here.
So 10 here is Desjardins. He's going to get loose out of the corner. And watch this impact. Overcorrects. Ooh. And it's just on from there. Pinball. Wow, we have a lot of really good replays, actually. The 63 bounces into pit lane. Have you ever? Dave Holmberg.
No, I never. Wow.
Check this out for Dave Holmberg. I know it said the replay for Blackwell would be good. This is going to be the replay for Holmberg. Holmberg in the 63 Harley-Davidson machine just gets collected by all of this. Walloped and bounces into the pit lane.
Man.
Wow.
That's nuts.
We'll get a look at it here for Blackwell that we were talking about initially. This is going to be a big one. He was right up on this as it all happened, right behind Desjardins, and just nowhere to go.
No. Seems to be a common theme with these wrecks tonight. Just these drivers have nowhere to go because it's such a short track, and reaction times are just not quick enough for it.
Might need to dig into our green-white checkered material here. I think we're going to, as these guys just have not been able to get a handle on the car. A big shout out I want to mention to Admin Box, partner of this series. In setting all this up with Brandon Herzing, there wasn't really much that came in the way of partnerships with the series. I didn't hear much from Brandon, but the one that was big to Brandon, and he wanted to make sure was mentioned, was Admin Box, a big-time partner of the HFL Legends series. We're going to go green flag one more time. 8 laps to go here at Sobo. Let's see if these guys can hang on. We'll go 1 lap complete off of the restart here in just one moment, and yes, we make it on through. The field rolls on by, and our leaders at a turn 2. Let's see, it's Boniface, Herzing, Cotterman, and Nuttall. 4 of the best drivers, I think, in the field. Certainly, it makes sense that they've all battled through adversity to make it to this top 4, as a caution will fly. Eric Sellers in the back.
Hard to tell what happened there.
Yeah, even Michael Peters mentioning the top 4 in this field currently are monsters in Legend Car Racing. You see them a lot. At least you see the top 2 a lot. Actually, the top 2 and 4th place a lot in officials. And I believe Jed as well. But I'd have to check my notes on that one. I believe Jed, the league owner. So it sounds like he missed last season of Legend Car Racing here with HFL, but has rejoined here for season number 3, it sounds like. Here's Eric Sellers' issue, though, out of turn 2.
Yeah, it looked like he just got loose.
Similar to the spin he had earlier. He just pops up out of the corner. It looks real twitchy on him, and he just goes right around.
Yeah, I'll be honest, that was kind of a weird spot for it. Everyone's who's looped it coming out of 2 has done it a little bit earlier in the transition. Wonder what would have happened there. But we'll just have to see what goes on with the last 3 laps, I think.
The iRacing.com pace car safety lights have been extinguished. 3 laps to go, this time by. Will we get a green-white checkered? Hopefully not. Green flag is back out, 3 to go. Side by side, Jesse Fox to the inside of Douglas Fisher. Up front, though, it's Boniface, Herzing, Cotterman. Caution. Oh, man.
I think we might have to pull out that green-white checkered.
We may not. The laps have not been extended. I think they would have already been extended if we were going to get a green-white checkered. I don't think we're getting one. Let's check out the issue here. Amy Mason on the back straightaway, going to go around with help from Des Jardins, and that was a clear right hook, whether intentional or not.
17 doing more flips for the flip counter tonight.
And quickly, let's get a look here from Des Jardins' perspective. There was definitely a right hook. I'm not going to go as far as to say whether or not this was intentional or not, but unfortunately the 51 gets hooked right there. Yeah, I don't think that was intentional. That's
probably just misjudged where that bumper bar was. But sorry to divert the attention from the replay here. It looks like
we are going checkers. We are going checkers literally as we speak. Checker flag will wave for Matthew Boniface, and we have fireworks in South Boston, Virginia. Wow. What a way for this race to have gone.
Yeah. Other than the cautions, when we were racing green, the racing was pretty darn good and close.
So Boniface will take a big-time victory. We saw a lot of this guy with EPI Speed Week back in December, a little over a month ago now. He ran all those races, was always consistent towards the front, always had a lot of speed, just never put any good finishes together, always had some kind of bad luck come up. Tonight, though, for Boniface, it is a solid P1 this evening. Congratulations, Matthew Boniface, finally grabbing a solid finish that he has been wanting for months and months in Legend Car and just short track racing in general. That's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I'd say so. Just overall great racing up front, great racing in the back too, minus all the contact, but that's bound to happen on a short track like this. As I said, it might be 6/10 of a kilometer, but you gotta drive 10/10. These guys definitely proved it tonight.
Let's take a look at our unofficial race results after 50 laps of racing. Matthew Boniface led every single one of them. Brandon Hersing will go second. Jed Cotterman third. We'll hopefully be talking to all three of them in just a few moments. Drivers, if you're out there watching, go ahead and connect to our Discord channel just in case one of the top three does not show for interviews. You have a chance to join us here in just a few more moments. Quentin Nuttall goes fourth. Timmy Martin fifth. Jesse Fox, Kirk Schweizer, Douglas Fisher, Dave Holmberg, and Mike Matherly. The remainder of your top 10. Robert Wilson, the final car to come home on the lead lap under caution conditions. Luke Desjardins in the 10 car. The catalyst in that final caution will finish 12th. Ron Blackwell 13th. Mark Smith 14th. Donald Fish 15th spot. Then Emmy Mason, John Barry, Nicholas Smith, Eric Sellers, and Mike Winter, the rest of your field from South Boston Speedway. First up for post-race interviews, it is, of course, your race winner, Matthew Boniface, with, I think, a redeeming win, at least for what we've seen here at Pit Stop TV. Matthew, it was a lot of heartbreak through EPI Speed Week. We've seen you just try to claw your way through some of these official Legends races the last few weeks for Pain Built Legends, but tonight, you take home a big dub.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wish there could have been some more green flag, but just awesome to have a win.
And of course, it is tough when you have to repeat these restarts, but you were able to do so with great success. You have no issues on any of these restarts. Stay ahead of Brandon Hersing, Jed Cotterman, and the rest. How'd you do that?
I just, whenever I saw it go green, I just went as fast as I could and made sure to not let them by.
And how about your foray into official legend car racing with Pain Built Legends? How's that been so far? What's that like? And will we see more of you on Mondays?
It's been awesome. It's so helpful to be able to go test with all the other drivers. I've gotten a lot faster.
Well, there you go, Matthew Boniface. Congratulations this evening. Hopefully we're talking to you a lot more here with HFL Legends and Pain Built Legends. Congratulations tonight.
Thanks.
Matthew Boniface, a solid race win this evening in HFL Legends for their season opener at South Boston. Meanwhile, Justin Brandon Hersing goes P2, and Car 96 has reason to celebrate.
Yeah, I'd say so. With a caution-riddled race tonight, it was very close racing up front. Brandon, tell me what you were trying to do, trying to chase down the first place there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we had a lot of cautions. I wish we had a more green flag laps. There was a lot of new people to the league, actually a lot of new people to Legends in general. So I couldn't do much. I mean, we had the restarts. Boniface was lights out, of course. He always is. It was a great race. Jed right behind me raced clean. Quentin's coming up through the pack. I saw behind me. For the first race of our season, I mean, I couldn't have asked for better. That was a blast.
Yeah, I'd say so. It was a blast to watch up here between the top four. Speaking of those guys, how hard was it trying to keep the other two behind you the whole time while you were trying to chase down P1?
Super hard. Jeb and him and I have raced together a lot, so I can kind of trust him. So I made some moves in front of him that I probably wouldn't have done on like an SOF night. But he raced clean. I raced clean. Really, everybody in the top several places raced clean. There's just some unlucky spins I saw behind me for a couple people, but it was good.
Yeah, South Boston's always a tricky place to get around, and you walking away with a P2 is a very, very good sign at the start of this season, Brandon. So, sorry, I gotta collect my thoughts here. I'll be honest, I actually don't really have any other questions here. So I just gotta say congratulations on the P2, bud.
Yeah, thank you. And I know we'll have you guys back a couple times this season, so definitely looking forward to that. Appreciate you guys broadcasting.
appreciate you coming out tonight, and thank you for hosting us as well. It was a blast to watch.
Thank you, guys.
Brennan Hersing with a solid P2 to open the season. How about Jed Cotterman, who goes third place this evening? Jed, first off, congratulations. Secondly, how'd you hang on through all those restarts?
The restarts was the easy part, brother. It was it was dodging all the cars flying around, starting 13, working my way up.
Yeah, that's no easy feat. You worked through exactly half of the field here from 13th to third place. How did you work through patiently all of those issues on those restarts and just issues in general?
You know, honestly, Andrew, starting on the bottom was the key. It seemed like the top line it didn't go on the restarts. And every restart I picked up a couple spots. So it was just kind of luck of the draw, if you will.
And we saw some snappiness in the setup this evening. What was that like trying to fight that? Swatting flies out of the corners.
Actually, I in practice I was messing with the offsets a little bit, and I put a little bit into it to kind of correct it. I did give up a little bit of speed for it, but knowing how to adjust the cars is a huge, especially in a fixed league like this is. You've still got a little bit of options, but. The first couple laps, unfortunately with the Legends, you got to build them a kind of, a little bit loose. So by the end of the run, you're not, pushing like a freight train. So it's kind of give and take.
There you go. Jed Cotterman from third place this evening. Jed, congratulations and props on the top three.
Thank you, brother.
Jed Cotterman with a quick and easy top three this evening. That's got to be one to take home to the bank with satisfaction for sure. We talked about the rest of the schedule a little bit earlier on. Let's take a look once more. Charlotte Motor Speedway next week on the Legends Oval there. It's 5 flags for round 3, then Hickory and Lanier on the dirt. And it sounds like that may, at least currently, be our next planned broadcast here for the HFL Legends Series. And that's going to be interesting. Maybe we should have that one highlighted in brown just to highlight that it is the dirt race at Lanier. But that is going to be exciting. Legend cars on dirt, that's relatively normal place. There's a dirt nationals every year. I've been to it a couple of times. And it's going to be interesting, I think, seeing these guys go from 8 pavement races, 9 pavement races, 8 pavement oval races to that one dirt race at round 5. And then how about the road course at Lime Rock for round 8? And then when we get down to the final race of the season, round 10, the top 5 in points will have an opportunity to vote on that track. So that's why it's listed as just TBD, to be determined. That is the finale, but the track, we don't know what it's going to be yet. While these guys are able to cool down and kind of decompress from a exciting but hectic night of racing at South Boston Speedway, Justin, thanks for joining me. What's your first impression now of, I guess, proper league racing with these Legend cars? I know you joined us for that show at the back end of 2022, racing for Colby, but it's a little bit different when you put it all together for a league.
Yeah, I'd say so. These guys, again, whether it be a caution fest or a full green flag run, it's always a thrill to watch a full-on league race anywhere. And having this season start out at South Boston Speedway, it's as you alluded at the beginning of this broadcast, it's a staple in iRacing, and you can't really get away from it when you first start out here. And seeing these guys just duke it out, I love it. It's just an experience to come over here, especially to be here with you, Andrew, and being with Pit Stop. I love it, and I look to always come back with you guys, and I'd love to come back for these guys as well. They are a amazing group of racers here, and I'm looking to see how it may progress throughout the season for these guys.
As we wrap up this evening from South Boston, let's take a look at our upcoming broadcast here on the channel. Next up for us, it's Thursday evening, January the 12th, at Suzuka Circuit in Japan for the North American Racing League GT3 Series. Then Monday, Legend Cars back on the channel. We're kind of just flip-flopping between Legends and GT3. What a wild combo that is. But Monday, we have Painbuilt Legends action from Southern National Motorsports Park. And if you want to get involved in that, just run the official SOF race on Monday at 7 Eastern for the Advanced Legends Cup. Anybody can run it if you've got the qualifying licenses. I believe it's a C-Class race on oval, so by all means, go run the race, try to make the top split, and make the broadcast for Painbuilt Legends on Monday. Then next Thursday, January 19th, it's the North American Racing League from Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, and that will be fun as well. Spa's always an exciting round, no matter what the schedule, no matter what the cars, it's always exciting, but we're especially looking forward to GT3 cars there, and I am excited. That's going to be leading into a break, and the Daytona 24. A lot going on in January here for the iRacing.com sim, but it'll be a 1 week break after Spa for the North American Racing League. Then it'll be Brands Hatch and Daytona for their rest of the season. It was certainly a pleasure, Justin. Hopefully you guys out watching did appreciate the coverage this evening. Hopefully you guys follow along with us at Pit Stop TV for more action, no matter what the league, no matter what the track, no matter what the night. You can see our social media links down below. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch is the same as Instagram. We have appreciated your viewership this evening. It certainly is always a pleasure to cover any iRacing league or race or what have you on Pit Stop TV. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. Thanks so much to our partners here at Pit Stop TV, Whiplash Media, SimCams, SimRapMarket.com, and Short Track Weekly. And if you use code PSTV at SimRapMarket.com, you do get 10% off of your order. That will do it from Sobo. Once again, thanks for watching. Hopefully you join us on Thursday for North American Racing League action from Suzuka, the GT3 cars. We'll see you there.